Hello everyone. Very good evening to all. I hope I'm audible to everyone. How are you today, guys?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Very good evening. कैसे हो आप लोग? I hope all are doing great, guys. All right, चलो start करते हैं, ठीक है? So let's start this session without any further delay. So आज हम बात करेंगे about the controllers, ठीक है? कि जो हमने लास्ट सेशन में डिस्कस किया था about the basic fundamental, but we are going to start the actual SD-WAN learning. So you guys are not going to miss the actual controller explanations जो हमने डिस्कस किया था पिछली बार briefly. आज उसके हम डीप डाइव में बात करेंगे कि क्या कंट्रोलर होते हैं, क्या उनका मतलब होता है, ठीक है? तो जैसे मैंने बताया था कि हमारे पास कंट्रोल प्लेन, डेटा प्लेन, ये अलग अलग प्लेन्स होते हैं एंड दीज प्लेन्स आर गोइंग टू बी यूज फॉर द डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पर्पस. जैसे आप लोग लैब में यहाँ देख भी पा रहे हो कि इन दिस सेक्शन वी हैव द मल्टीपल कंट्रोलर्स. See here, like we have the vManager, we have the vBound. Let me use a different color. We have the vManager, we have the vBound, we have the vSmart, root CA. So root CA is just kind of the one of the certificate management server. But now we have the vEdge devices,
Uh,
right? We have the CS devices. Hi, Gautam.
sorry to interrupt. This is actually my first class.
Okay.
And is this English or are you? I
Yeah,
thought
yeah. This
it
is
will
going to
be.
be English. I'm just using the little bit in intro, right? So just
Okay,
going to be
okay,
English. So don't worry about that. Okay.
okay.
This batch is English. Hold on, guys. This is just fine for some reason. Wait. Let me see what happened. This pen got stuck. Mm, 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 mm. Sorry for that. Okay, guys. Oh, actually, this pen get stuck and I'm not able to do anything. Okay, let me use slide if I can use that. Hold on, guys. Completely freeze my Mac. Can I restart my laptop and join it back again, guys? If you don't mind.
Sure, sure.
I believe I
Sure.
lost completely this screen. I don't know what happened. Okay. Let me join the Zoom with the. Sorry for that. We having an unfortunate situation. Let me try to join this meeting.
Recording in progress.
Sorry, guys. I joined. I joined a different device. Wait for a while. Let me. I shut down my laptop. Let me restart, guys. I don't know what happened suddenly, but let me restart. Okay, so I started my laptop. Let me set up my Zoom and other things so we can continue by screen share. Okay, so one moment, guys. Almost boot up completed. Okay, let me join this meeting.
Recording in
Uh, Sorry, guys, really apologize for delay. Now let me share my screen again, and probably we can start. Okay, so let me open the PPT. All right, and let me open the labs as well. So guys, we have to understand the step-by-step concept of the controllers, right? It's very important. Before you go for any configuration, you must have the good knowledge of controllers. So at least you can understand what is going to be done the configuration from the controller point of view, branch point of view, and the underlay of the all devices. So we have three sections. We have this is my controller data centers where I have to deploy all the controllers. Now I have the branch location 1, 2, 3, 4. And also we have some data center hub location where I have to make the connectivity to the LAN, DC LAN. So before we can do configuration, we have to understand the role of the controllers. So I mentioned that earlier the name was, let's suppose you are the beginner for the SD-WAN. So might be you don't know what is the SD-WAN, what is the Cisco SD-WAN, what is the Catalyst SD-WAN, what is the Viptela SD-WAN. So these all are same. If someone is asking Viptela, right, just recap, Cisco, right, or Catalyst. These all are same. Just earlier, Viptela was the company who Cisco acquired, and now Cisco renamed the Viptela and Cisco SD-WAN as a Catalyst SD-WAN as a rebranding. So you are going to find the controller name as a change. Earlier it was the vManage. Now it is known as the manager, right? Earlier it was the vAnalytics. Now it is known as the analytics. vBond is replaced with the validator, and vSmart is going to be known as the controller. This is the how it is going to look like. Now we have to understand the different plane of the SD-WAN and how this SD-WAN different plane is going to be used in the actual deployment. So let's start. If you have any questions, please let me know so I can just take your questions as well. So now we have a
Yes.
yes, Vivek, go ahead, please.
हेलो
Yes, please, Vivek, go ahead.
सर इसमें जैसे कंट्रोल प्लेन डाटा प्लेन होता है कि नहीं ये SD-WAN में
Yes, everything is going to be there. Control plane is going to be there. Data plane is going to be there. Everything is going to be there. I'll explain one by one everything. Okay. So wait for a while.
ठीक
Now I'm
ओके
going to explain only control plane, data
Sir.
plane only.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Keshar, please tell me.
यस सर सर मैंने राब्ता किया था इससे व्हाट्सएप के थ्रू तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये मीटिंग ज्वाइन कीजिए आप
Yes.
मेरा मेरा मुझे आपसे नेटवर्क आर्किटेक्ट का कोर्स स्टार्ट करना है।
Okay, so we
आपकी
are
मैंने एक
discussing.
वीडियो देखी थी यूट्यूब पे।
Okay, Kejar, this is a SD-WAN session, so we'll discuss in last. Okay.
ओके।
I'll discuss last about the network architect course as well. Okay, but you just focus on the Cisco SD-WAN because this is also very important to become a network architect.
सर
Good.
मैं आई एम ऑलरेडी सीसीआई एंटरप्राइज।
Or that's great. Congratulations, right? So
थैंक
we'll,
यू।
we'll talk later about the network
ओके।
architect roadmap. Okay. If you have a time,
ओके
just
सर।
stay and learn something valuable things from my side. Definitely we'll discuss
ओके।
at the end of the session.
ओके सर।
Yes,
या।
Ajay.
सर
Ajay, please.
सर हाँ जी सर, मेरे जो क्वेश्चन थे अभी, ये अपना बैच जो है वो इंग्लिश में रहेगा क्या?
Yes, it's if you have any question, you can ask in Hindi as well. There's no problem. Okay.
ओके।
Okay. Gautam, you have
And
any questions?
yes, you were telling about the Viptilla and Cisco and Catalyst. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I have seen some requirements says that Viptilla need a Cisco Viptilla or something. Is it a difference device
No,
or is it
all
something?
are same. Viptela is no more available in the market. That has been completely gone from the market. Now you are going to find only Cisco or Catalyst. Viptela was the
Okay,
company that was acquired by the Cisco. Okay.
okay,
And now Cisco just renamed the all old terminology as a new as a Catalyst SD-WAN. So if you are going to talk in the market, you are going to only find the Catalyst SD-WAN Gautam. There is no Viptela, even you're not going to find Cisco as well.
okay. And the other question is, I don't know, is it, I don't know, previous classes I haven't attended.
Mhm.
When I was researching on this SD-WAN, I knew that Cisco is having SD-WAN, Palo Alto is also having SD-WAN, everything is having SD-WAN. What is the major, like, why? So if I have not a company gonna have Cisco SD-WAN and have a Palo Alto firewalls,
Mhm.
and also some other devices too. So is it okay? They are going to be, if I have a Cisco SD-WAN, I can integrate the Palo Alto firewalls, or is it a completely different SD-WANs they are?
So that's a valid question. So in market, we have the multiple SD-WAN vendors, right? Cisco SD-WAN, Palo SD-WAN, Versa SD-WAN. You're going to find the FortiGate SD-WAN. You're going to find like Cato SD-WAN. Okay, you're going to find Zscaler SD-WAN. Lot of Velo Cloud SD-WAN you're going to find. And Nokia Nuage SD-WAN, right? So these means a lot of vendors available. So you can just think about in this way, if I am the one OEM, so I'm creating one product. So Cisco is the one OEM creating the one SD-WAN solutions. You can just think about the routers. Take an example. There are router from the Cisco, okay? And there are router from the Juniper. Both
Mhm.
are having the same functionality, right? But their OEM are different. Cisco is one company, Juniper is another company. If you're going to work on the Cisco router, you have a different CLI options. Means the CLI command line is going to be different, but at the end, they're going to run the same kind of the OSPF, BGP, right? Static routing means any routing protocol you are going to run. Even for the switching, you're going to run BTP, STP, RSTP, VRRP, like you can run like other trunking protocols. Similarly, Juniper also you can do the same thing. So technically they are going to do the same work, but for engineer point of view, you should know the CLI command line for the both of the routers. Means Cisco have a different CLI command line and Juniper have a different command line. So if you don't know the command line, how to configure BGP in Juniper, you cannot operate the Juniper router. But the protocol, they are going to be exactly work same way where it is going to work in Cisco or Juniper. Similar way, if I have a different SD-WAN, they all are the different SD-WAN, but they have the same architecture. You can leverage any SD-WAN deployment for your company as per your need. Now, I'll discuss which one is the best and why you should use it later on, but you can use any of the, and trust me, in the market, you're going to find all SD-WAN customers are using. But if you want to integrate this SD-WAN solution with any kind of the third-party firewalls, like as you mentioned, that Palo Alto firewall, yes, you can integrate. Firewall, if you want to integrate with the FortiGate firewall, you can integrate even the FortiGate firewalls as well. Even you want
So we
to,
can integrate in Cisco SD-WAN, these
Yes.
firewalls?
So firewall have a different rule, right? Firewall have totally different rule. Even our lab, you can see in topology, let me show you. Here we have the firewall. You can see. So I can integrate any third-party firewall with the SD-WAN devices because they support firewall as services. But if you don't want to use the external firewall, these SD-WANs are coming with the integrated firewall features. Means if you go and deploy the SD-WAN, you are going to find, let me show you one of the dashboard. So you guys will understand a little bit more about this. So in this SD-WAN, you are going to find integrated firewall feature. So if I go here, let me show you. So these SD-WAN itself have the firewall, security, and you're going to find all, like you can see, application firewall, intrusion preventions, advanced malware protections, DNS security, SSL, and TLS decryptions. So you can integrate third-party firewall. If you don't want to integrate third-party firewall, you want to leverage the on Cisco SD-WAN firewall, that is also possible. But yes, complete integration for third-party devices possible. Make sense, Gautam?
Yeah, it makes sense. And also routers also we can integrate any other routers, right?
Yes, you
Cisco,
can see
Juniper,
there Cisco, Juniper, they are also going to be integrated. Any router you
uh,
can integrate, just need to assign the IP addressing. But one thing you have to make sure your SD-WAN fabric is going to be one vendor. Means when you're going to build the SD-WAN fabric, means your all overlay connections are going to be one vendor. Either Cisco, either Juniper, either might be Palo Alto, either you can just use the Cato, Versa.
so
The
edge
overlay,
routers,
sorry?
you mean edge
Sir,
routers?
Yes, edge routers when they're going to form the SD-WAN fabric. But
Uh,
behind that, you can make any third-party device connectivity, router, switch, firewalls, anything you can deploy that. I mean, their services can be integrated, their connectivity can be possible, but your fabric is going to be only one vendor to just operate entire fabric. If you're going to integrate two vendors together, your network is going to be very complex and that's not a wise decision. We can do that, but it's going to be unnecessary, create a complexity and a lot of money is going to be there.
okay.
Okay.
I had one more small question. I don't want
Yes,
to
please.
interrupt more.
Yeah, go ahead, go
So
ahead. Yes.
vEdge router should be the fabric router, the fabric connection should be same. You mean better to go with one Juniper or one Cisco or one any other HP or anything. Okay, but what are the other routers which they are be integrated in SD-WAN too, or only the
They are
edge
just
routers
going to be
only
act as a
communicate?
legacy connections. Edge are going to be your any one vendor solutions who is going to provide the WAN solutions, right? But behind the WAN, you always going to connect the LAN, like either your data centers, either your branch locations. These routers can be from any vendors. It's not really need a Cisco only. You can use any, but acting as a LAN only. They are not going to part of the SD-WAN solution. It's just kind of their legacy connection to the just, connect the LAN subnets. That's all.
Okay, so that means only we have to use one specific
Vendor,
vendor for all the edge
WAN,
routers,
WAN routers. Yes, WAN
WAN
connectivity.
routers. Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
that's
thank
makes
you.
sense. Jasmine, you have a questions? I notice you want to talk. Jasmine, any other one have any questions, guys? Any questions anyone have? Okay, so feel free to ask any questions. Even you feel like comfortable in Hindi, you can ask the
sir,
question in Hindi.
I have one question.
Yes, please.
Sir, one bank is having primary and secondary data centers totally on Cisco infrastructure, while they back in 2019 they made decision to give a third tertiary data center to Huawei. Now, what kind of situation they will be facing while government is and every bank is migrating itself to SD-WAN?
I didn't understand clear your question. Means yeah,
The
three data center.
tertiary data center, yeah, tertiary data center is totally based on Huawei infrastructure,
So you have
while
to
the
make
primary,
the network interface connectivity between your primary secondary data center so that in case of any kind of the downtime is going to happen for data center, your traffic should be failover. So it's going to be kind of the NNI solutions where one data center is going to be connect with another data center based on the different kind of the solution. Means might be they are in a different setup, not the same as the one talking, right? Huawei might be have different solutions you're talking because Huawei is a different
Yes.
vendor, not Cisco. So you have to make the connectivity where we required the non-proprietary devices, non-proprietary protocols. So these devices, let's suppose one side of Cisco, and let's suppose you want to build the Ether channel. So you cannot run the PHP protocol. You have to run the LSP protocol. Similarly,
Yes,
you
yes.
cannot run the EHRP also nowadays open center. But if you're going to run the BGP, static route, or OSPF, that also possible to just exchange the routing from the Huawei to your primary or secondary data center. So you can do the route linking and you have to set the priority. If any data center is going to be down, you have the backup route already available in routing path from the Huawei, and the route is going to be there and make the connectivity. But that is going
All
to
right.
act as your legacy connections, not the SD-WAN, which is using for the primary and secondary. Okay, Kejar?
Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Carry on.
Thank you, guys. So let's start. So we have to understand now, we have the different planes. You guys see here. Let me just maximize. We have the management plane, and this is a management plane, orchestration plane, and we have the control plane, and we have data plane. So we have to understand what is the role of data plane, what is the role of the control plane, and what is the management plane, and what is the orchestration plane. So basically the control plane is the plane where actually your brain is going to reside. Means nervous system, entire fabric nervous system, brain is going to be there is a control plane. So for that, we have a device that is known as the controller. Control plane is going to represent as the controller. And this also known as the vSmart. So if someone is going to talk about the controller or vSmart, the both are same. Only old name was a vSmart, new name is a controller. This is the actually brain of your entire SD-WAN. Means if you want to do the routing, if you want to do the policy, definitely I'll do the deep dive discussion. This all routing policy is going to happen from the control plane. But this is just going to give the instruction. How? Let's suppose you have this router. Router have the LAN connections. One PC have, and this PC have the 10.10.10.10 subnet, and want to talk to, let's suppose 20.20.20.20 subnet. So once the packet is going to punch this router, it will check the routing table. And what is the routing table? Might be you are going to use the OSPF, you're going to use the BGP, EIGRP. Based on your routing table, if whatever the routes available, they will give the instruction which interface should be your exit interface by checking the fib table, and their packet is going to be out. So routing table is going to give the instructions how you can reach to your actual destination. And when the packet is actually going to forward, that is going to become your data plane. So same concept is going to use here. Means if you're talking about that router, this router is going to use as a control plane. This is my control plane. And this control plane is going to be used here to just manage your routing informations, right? Policies, everything you just want to make the communication from the one to another, that is going to from there only from the control plane device. Okay, let me use this pen because this pen is correctly not working for me correctly. So let me use. So now control plane is going to use the protocol, special protocol. If I'm going to use a control plane, this plane is going to use special protocol. There is no BGP, no OSPF. Sorry, let me. No BGP, no OSPF, no static route, no other protocol. They just use the one routing protocol. That routing protocol is known as the OMP. This is the overlay management protocol. This protocol is going to be responsible to do all routing decisions from control point of view. Also, if you want to do any legacy route redistribution, let's suppose this is one branch, and this branch is my vEdge router. Okay, vEdge. This vEdge router connected with the normal legacy router. Here you are running the OSPF. And now you want to send the like this is my vSmart. Here you're running the OMP. So if you want to redistribute OSPF to the OMP, it is possible. Also, you can redistribute OMP to OSPF. It is also possible. So it's a mutual distribution also going to be supported. Means any legacy protocol, if you want to redistribute, that control plane protocol OMP is going to allow to do that redistributions without any problem. Clear? So control plane is device is basically known as the my vSmart, that is a controller. Now there is two more device we have. One is known as the management plane. So what is the management plane? Management plane device is basically designed in such way, and this is my device manager. This is manager, also known as vManage. So if you don't know about the vManage manager, don't worry. I will explain in today's session only. So this vManager or manager are going to be responsible for all kind of the configurations, any kind of the troubleshooting, any kind of the log analysis, means anything you want to do the management, troubleshooting, log analysis, that all possible via your manager. That is the vManage. So it's a centralized dashboard, centralized, like we can say the one single pane of glass where we can sit and do all kind of the connectivity for the and configuration for the all devices. Means any device you want to manage, do the configuration, that all is going to happen from the vManager. Now there is a one more device, that is the orchestration plane device. What is that orchestration plane device? This orchestration plane device is responsible to just validate and check whether my all devices, whether it's a router, means especially I'm talking about the SD-WAN router, whether my controller, that is my smart, and also my NMS system, that is my vManage, are actually valid to join my fabric or not. Means it is going to act as a validator. This is known as a validator also. This is the device. This is known as the vBond or validator. Means it is going to do the validations for any connections which is going to be come to join the fabric. Before going to join the fabric, it is going to make sure you are really valid or not. So based on their serial number and certificate, they are going to be validate their serial number and cert. These two parameters are going to valid, then only it is going to join. If the parameter is not going to valid, this validator will not allow any device to join. So if I want to build any fabric, I have a Cisco router, but if validator don't know about you, it will not allow to join the any fabric. You can think in this way. Let's suppose any company offer you with the offer letter to join the company. So you have the offer letter and you have the joining date. When you go to join the company HR is going to validate your offer plus your personal credentials like your Aadhaar card, passport, PAN card, other certifications. If everything is going to valid your experience certificate, if everything is going to valid, then only they will allow to join the company, else they will not allow to join the company. Similar thing is going to happen with the validator. So orchestration plane is just going to make sure every device, either controller, manager, that is a NMS, network management system, my edge devices are coming to me join. Before they join, I must need to validate their credentials. This is how it is going to be happen. So let's do the deep dive in more detail, how these are going to function in the deeper side. Now, if I talk about the data plane. So what is data plane? Data plane is nothing. It's your actual routers. Means you have a two type of routers. One is the vEdge, another is a cEdge. This vEdge is a Viptela edge, cEdge is Cisco edge, and sometime you are going to known as the WAN edge. So WAN is basically your WAN devices. Either can be your Viptela devices, either can be your Cisco devices. These WAN devices are going to be join your fabric, and they are actually going to process your packet. Actually means any packet need to process from the one side to another side. Let me go in the topology so you can understand in better way. If I'm going to topology, you can see if my one device want to talk to another device, let's suppose any packet is coming here to here. So if the packet want to go, then it will come via the branch to branch. So these router are going to act as a data plane device. Means actual data is going to be processed from one branch to another branch, and this is your data tunnels. These data tunnels are going to be IPsec. We'll do the deeper side discussion on that also. I'm giving you just overview as of now. So don't be confused. I'm not understanding anything like it's passing off my head, right? So we have the management plane, orchestration plane, control plane, and data plane. Data plane have the routers, control plane have the one device, means the vSmart. Orchestration plane have the device that is known as the validator, and management plane have device that is a manager. vAnalytics device, this device is just for the monitoring deep analysis. Means if you want to do the what is happening overall my fabric, how my circuits are behaving, how my telemetry data look like for the reporting, future analysis, kind of the if you want to do the optimize your all SD-WAN fabric, upgradation, downgradations, those kind of logs are going to be there on the vAnalytics, just for the helping in the deeper side of the monitoring, nothing more than that. Now, if I go and discuss more detail about the every tool in detail, like we discuss very high level about the manager, we discuss very high level of the controller and validator and the data plane device, the vEdge router. Now, if I discuss about the in very detail about these devices, so let's do the deep dive discussion about the manager. So I discuss the manager, also known as the vManage. So if I'm going to use the vManage or manager, you understand these are the same. It's not a different device. This device is absolutely same device. Even you can go and check this slide. Let me show you. See, if you go for the vManage old name, new name is going to manage. But if you're going to CLI for this one, it's again going to be written as the vManage only. See, if I'm going old name, that was the vManage. New name has been changed as the manager. But if I'm going to the this API CLI documentation, still you are going to find as the vManage. Similarly, vBond is a old name, new name is a validator. And if you go for the CLI and Epic, that is going to be again vBond is there. So don't be confused. Either I'm going to use the vManage, manager, vBond, validator, vSmart, controller. These all are same. So we are talking about the vManage and manager as of now. So let's understand what are the role of the vManager. So very first thing, if you want to start deploy your SD-WAN, this device is going to be required in very first place. Why? Because you have to start day 0 operations, day 1 operations, day 2 operations. Means if you want to start building SD-WAN, very first device need, that is your vManager. If there is no vManager, you cannot deploy your SD-WAN fabric, because this is also known as the NMS, Network Management System. Means entire fabric is going to do the configuration, troubleshooting, policy creations, template, everything is going to be done via this device only. Now, second thing, if you talk about what is second role, multi-tenant with the web scale. What does mean multi-tenant? Means single tenant versus multi-tenant. Let's suppose this vManage you want to deploy. Okay. This vManage can be allocated for the single customer. Means this vManage is not a device. This is a virtual device. vDevice means you have to take their virtual image and deploy into ESXi or KVM or cloud. Means if you want to use the Azure, AWS or GCP, you can use that and you can deploy these all devices there. This device is virtual device. This also virtual device, VM. This also VM device. This device also going to be VM. any controller device is not a physical device. You cannot find any physical device for the controller. These all devices are going to be virtual device. These are actually can be data plane device, means your router can be VM and can be physical, both possible. But if I'm talking about the manager, validator, analytics, and the controller, these all are going to be my virtual. Make sense? So if I want to deploy this virtual device in any server and I want to allocate whole resource to one customer, just one customer, this deployment is known as the single tenant. Okay. Single tenant means this is dedicated to one customer. Think in this way. You are going to take one of the paying guest PG. Okay. And one big room is there. And if you're paying rent, let's suppose 15K per month. So you are the single owner of this room, of this paying guest. But the moment you start sharing the beds of this room with the three people, like one is you, two is your friend, and third is also friend. So now you are going to divide this amount 5K, 5K, 5K to each other. So everyone is going to pay 15K. So your cost is going to be lower, but your privacy is not going to be intact. Now everyone, whatever activity is doing, everyone can watch, everyone can see, because you all are staying in the same room. So what you're doing when you wake up in early morning, when you're going to sleep, to whom you are talking, how much you time is spending on the mobile phones, what all content you are watching, probably this all going to be understand by your friends. The same you can do for your friend to understand what they are doing as well. So single tenant is basically a device is going to dedicate it for the single customer, but multi-tenant is this virtual instance, means this vManager can be assigned to the different instance to the different customer, like A, B, C, D, E. You just think about this is a router. Router have the one routing table, and this routing table is known as the global routing table. So this global routing table is entirely dedicated to one customer. But the moment I'm going to use the VRF, this is the virtual routing forwarding, I can split the same routing table into multiple routing table, and I can use the VRF A for the customer A, VRF B for the customer B, and VRF C for the customer C, and global is going to be my any other customer routing table. Makes sense? So this is how it is going to be, like split my one single routing table into multiple routing table. Similar way, my vManage also going to be to the multi-tenant with the web skills. Web skills means you can GUI based login, you can do that. Any doubt, guys? These 2 points.
Yes. So you are saying like having a different entity, you mean dividing to different entities, or like is it uh, managing like three different clients, right? So I haven't understood that. Is it three different companies using the same
Yes, yes,
manage,
yes. So
or is it
let me
something
let me let
branch offices?
no. Let me explain. So what happened? vManage basically first thing, we have the vManage device. Okay. We have the vSmart device and we have the vBond device. Clear? This also known as the manager. This also known as the controller. And this is the validator. Now these devices are purely VM devices. Means no physical device. Clear,
Okay.
Gautam and everyone, right?
Okay.
This is one thing. If you have the router, routers can be your vEdge or can be your cEdge. These can be your physical or can be virtual. So now if I'm going to use a router is going to dedicate to customer. Clear? It's not going to be shared to the any other customer. This is just dedicated to the one customer. But if I'm going to use the vManage, this vManage is the NMS tool. sometime what is going to happen, you're going to take a subscriptions from Cisco itself. I mean, these are going to deploy in the Cisco infrastructure, and you're going to ask for the vManage services. They will give you the subscription on the vManage. So they will offer two services. You want to take my shared vManage services or dedicated vManage services. Clear? So if you're going to ask, means you're going to take shared, the cost is going to be low, but dedicated cost is going to be high. So what does mean shared? Shared means the Cisco is going to deploy very powerful vManage in their data centers, and different virtual tenant they are going to create for the different customers. Make sense, Gautam? Means
Yes.
you know the VRF, right?
Yes. Yes.
So same concept means they're going to create the virtual tenant within the vManage, and this is going to assign tenant one is the customer A, this is customer B, customer C, customer D, and customer E. So this is how it is going to happen. Another way around, let's suppose you are the single company and you have the single vManage, but you have a three regions. You have the region APAC, you have the region US, and you have the region EMEA. So probably you require three vManage. So you thinking why I should buy the three vManage? I split this vManage, I create three tenant, and one tenant I'll use the APAC, one is the UK, one is the US. So still you making your tenant based deployment for the three regions. So one single vManage itself is going to split into three vManage by doing the multi-tenancy features. This is one feature where we can split the one vManage in the multiple vManage. Clear? So both use case can be possible. If you're going to take directly from Cisco, Cisco can offer the dedicated vManage or shared, or if you owning their own dedicated vManage, you want to deploy in the multi-tenant mode for the different region, it's also possible. Clear?
Oh, okay. But shared is something secured, or is it a share? Is it something whatever information we have on the other we manage, is it going to be
No, it's like you know the VRF concept, right?
complete? Yes, yes. It's so
VRF
same as VRF concept.
similar the VRF, right? VRF,
Okay.
if you're creating any route in the VRF, it's not going to leak. But still
Yes.
they are sharing the same resource hardware, na?
Yes.
So there is a
Yes.
chance might be there is a less security because if you're in the shared system, right? So there is a chance might people can be do the some malfunctioning, some other activity which is going to be leak your informations. So some financial customers, especially for the financial banking, insurance, they don't actually use the shared infrastructure. But any kind of the FMCG, like non-financial company, they use the shared infrastructure because their data is not that much critical.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All
Thank you.
right, guys. So now moving to the slide again. And if you see here, this is the multi-tenants. Now also is support centralized provisioning. Means by setting on the vManage, let me show side by side. By setting on the vManage, you can do everything in terms of the configuration. Means you can create the policy, you can create a template, you can create the certificate, network, devices, whatever you want to do that, you can do that. So centralized management means by sitting in a single pane of glass, you can manage and configure your entire fabric. You don't have to go for any devices to just take any actions. Let's suppose I have that much device available in my fabric. This all router. I will simply go here and I want to take the SSH or telnet. I will go here and device I want to reboot. I can reboot from here as well. If I want to take the SSH terminal, I can take SSH. Let's suppose controller. By sitting here, I can take the controller SSH connectivity, telnet connectivity. This is all possible. I can simply log in. So I don't have to depend on any third-party tool to just make the NMS connectivity, to just CLI access, GUI access, and even for the monitoring. Let me try one more time. So if I'm putting the username admin, password again admin, I'm going inside of my controller and see this is my controller. Similarly, if I want to do the validator access, this old lab basically running on the weekend. So I'm just trying to showcase how you can just log in the devices. So centralized management means you can do the centralized policing, means provisioning, policy, template, troubleshooting, and monitoring. You can even do the monitoring, how my health is going to happen. You go here, you can just see the alarms, what are alarms available. You want to see the, let's suppose, events, you can see all the events. You want to see the audit logs, ACL logs. These all possible on this device. Clear? So most of the time you have to work on the vManage, because without vManage, you cannot create any configuration, policy, troubleshooting, everything. Even you want to do the software upgradations, this also possible. Means you don't have to go anywhere. You just create the software upgradation process here and upload the required images on the vManage, and directly you can activate those images from the end router, and that is going to be live in your productions immediately after doing the reboot. So this feature also available. You can create the role-based access, GUI with the role-based access. Means if you have the L1, L2, L3 teams, and I want to create the access like user I want to create, let's suppose I want to create the level 1 user, level 1 password, I can give that. Let me give the password. And different role I have. Basic, if I'm going to log in with this user, he cannot do all activity. He have the very basic right. Even I want to, I will show later on, even I want to get a role-based access, means L2 have some customized access. He can do interface configuration, but cannot create the policy. He can create some kind of the template, but not create a device template. Those level of restriction also I can give. Means what need to be read, what need to be write. So if I'm the basic user, just have the read only for my interfaces and system, nothing more than that. But if I'm going to operator, I have the full access. If I'm going to net admin, I can just read and write both access I have. But if I just want to use the any role-based access, let's suppose level 1 access, custom access. So I can give what he need to be checked and what he not need to be checked by selecting the read write feature from here. So these all I'll do later in the lab sections, but you can do this all rollback access like restriction on the GUI basis. Another thing, it's suppose the REST API and netconf. So what is the REST API? What is the netconf? That is known as the programmable interface. And this programmable interface are going to be make the connectivity from any third-party devices. So REST API is the method by using the one application, you have to talk to another applications. API is application programmable interface. Basically, it is going to be make connectivity. Let's suppose, sorry. API, what is API? So application programmable interface. One applications need to talk another application. This is the basically concept of the APIs. You might be have seen, if you go for the air ticket booking, let me show you the live example. So you might be go and use the Sky Scanner, right? Let me hold on. Let me go on the Google. So this is the aggregator, and this is the one applications. In this Sky Scanner, I can just find any air ticket from, let's suppose, Mumbai, and let's suppose this is a date, and search ticket. This is going to be talk to multiple applications, and it's showing that Air India flight is this one. If you just click on the ticket booking, now it is redirecting to the Air India booking. You can see. So I search the ticket on the Sky Scanner, okay? But through API, they fetch information from the Air India, and they redirected me the Air India applications. So this is the beauty of the API. If API is not going to be there, this redirection is not possible. You cannot book the ticket directly from the Air India. So API is just allowing one application need to talk to another application. So even in our SD-WAN, if I want to do the API based communication, means any third party application, I want to do automations. I want to push the configuration. I want to delete some configuration from the API, the Python script. Postman tool, other Terraform scripting software. Means there are a lot of available tools available in the market for the API connectivity. If I use that, based on that, I can make the connectivity to my controller, and anything I want to delete, add, those all possible. So REST is basically one of the API protocol, and these REST are going to use the HTTP verbs. If you go and talk about the REST, what is the REST? So it is going to use the HTTP verbs to just call the different kind of the API. Means if you want to get information from device, if you want to delete information from device, so they use the different verbs. That is the get, put, post. Let me show you what is the REST, and it's HTTP verbs. So you're going to find different kind of verbs. See, it's REST API is basically representational state transfer protocol, and they use the HTTP verbs method to communicate with the client. And these are the verbs. Means if you are putting the get request, let me show you one of a demo. If I go here, this is the favorite tool for the postman. You might be, if you've done the CCNP, you know about that. This is the postman tool. Okay. So let's suppose I want to do the configuration from my postman tool to my vManage. Okay, so this is my postman tool. This is the one applications, and this is the basically for CCNS, CCNP, not CCNS, CCNP, CCIE. If you're going for the learning, this tool is going to be used. So you are going to, let's suppose I want to connect with my vManage. So vManage IP is this one, 192.168.1.6. So this app, you just set the get information. You just click and you have to keep the username and password. So if I just put this information, username and password, my laptop and this device must be in the same network. And then I just send this HTTP, you can see this going to be talk. Means this is just login information. As you can see, this is getting 200 OK. 200 OK means this API tool is able to communicate. Now, if I want to pull some parameters, some information, I want to do the configuration from this tool. That is also possible. But for that, I have to use a different verb. To get information, just retrieve information, read only. That's the get verbs. If I want to just create some operation, means I want to make changes in the device, then I have to use the post. You have to use the post operations, right? If you want to put, means you want to update the existing, let's suppose there is a loopback interface created and you want to just update the description. You have to use the put. Delete means you want to delete, patch, head, and option. There are a lot of verbs are available. So basically REST is going to be used to just make the communication from one application to another application by using the HTTP verbs. And what is HTTP verbs that is going to be used? The most famous verbs are going to be get. Okay. Sorry. Get. They are going to use the put. And they are going to be up. What was that? Hold on. Update. A post, not update. Sorry, post. I just forgot this name. Hold on, guys. So get, post, put, and delete. These verbs you're going to be get most of the time when doing the configurations. Now, there is one more thing you're going to get, netconf. Netconf is the protocol. Remember this protocol. Without this protocol, SD-WAN fabric is never going to build. This protocol used to make any configurations. Let's suppose I'm in the vManage. Understand, guys, this. I'm in the vManage. I'm preparing any configuration. And this need to be pushed to this device. This need to push to this device. This need to push to this device. How this all configuration is going to be there? For that, you have to use the netconf protocol. So netconf is going to be used here. So netconf is going to be used, and by using this netconf, they use the XML data format and Yang data modeling. By using that, you are going to be create file XML format. When you do the configuration, this file is going to be in XML format with Yang data modeling, and this is going to be put to the edge router. So netconf is going to carry your all configuration under the tunnels from your vManage to the edge devices, vManage to vBond, or vManage to vSmart, or other edge devices. So anything you're going to do the configuration, they will not use the telnet SSH to process the configuration. They will use the netconf protocol. And based on that, your all configuration is going to be happen from one device to another device. So I hope you guys are very much clear about the management plane. Any doubt, guys, here? Anyone have any doubt? Please let me know. All right, so moving next. The next step, basically, we have to go and understand the orchestration plane. Orchestration plane is basically a plane where my all device communications, means whatever device communications we have. Let's suppose my vManage want to join the fabric. My vSmart want to join the fabric. My vEdge router want to join the fabric. They all must have to be get authenticated by my validator. This is also known as a vBond. So orchestrate control and the management plane means whatever the control plane communications we have, whatever the management plane configuration we have, that all must be going to be orchestrated by my validator. Validator is going to validate everything. And if it is going to validator, then means if it is going to validate it, then only it is going to allow the communication to talk to other devices. So they are going to be authenticate, means they are going to check your certificate and serial number. Based on certificate and serial number, they are going to be authenticate. And based on that, they are going to allow the communications, right? And also, once they are going to authenticate you, they are going to distribute all the informations, means whatever the informations they are going to be authenticate for the devices. Let's suppose vEdge routers, or might the vManage, or might be the vSmart. They are going to distribute that all information to the controllers, that is my vSmart and the manager and all the WAN router. Means they are simply going to distribute all authenticated information to the all devices. So they are going to make the control connections. And this also support the NAT feature, that is a NAT traversal feature. I will discuss this separately later on, how the NAT traversal is going to be there. And it's also going to be highly resilient. What is a highly resilient? Means basically you require the two vBond in your network. So one is going to be down, another is going to take role. Similarly, in the previous slide also I missed that highly resilience is going to be there. When one router is going to be down, another is going to take a role. So these things are going to be always in the cluster, means there must be two devices going to be used for your communications. If one is going to be down for any region, another is going to take a role. Now the third one is going to be control plane. Control plane is going to be your controllers. This device also known as the vSmart. In this vSmart, what is going to be happen? This going to facilitate the fabric discovery, means any routing distribution is going to be happen. This responsible by the vSmart, means it is going to make sure disseminate the control plane informations, means the routing informations, policy informations, either it's a data plane policy, application routing policy, implement the control policy, service chaining policy, means routing policy. Everything you want to just distribute from one router to another router, from one controller to another controller. That's responsibility is the controller, that is a vSmart. And also it is going to integrate your legacy routing protocols. If you want to, that's not written here, but if you want to integrate the BGP, OSPF, this going to be also redistribute. If you want to get any route from the vEdge router as a OSPF, you want to redistribute in the OMP is going to carry by leveraging the OMP routing protocol redistribution features. And this also going to be highly resilient, where one is going to be down, another is going to take a role. So this is the role of my vSmart, that is a controller. The last device we have, any doubt guys here? Anyone about these two slides? The validators, and that is the my basically controller vSmart.
Sir, I have a doubt here.
Yes,
So
please.
basically, validator is going to validate certificate and device serial number. At
Right,
the
right.
initial stage, when we are validating vManage, so how it is going to validate serial number of manager, because it is not yet enlisted on vManager. This manager is not ready. So
That's
how
that
the
that's a valid questions, right?
yeah.
So what is going to happen whenever you're going to build the vManage, okay? This vManage is going to be actually linked with your Cisco Smart account. See, sync a smart account. And this smart account is basically going to be actually carry the serial number and device inventory, and that is going to be synced with your vBond. vBond is basically a device, right? But also it is going to be synced with this smart account. Later I will show you how this smart account will look like. So once you are going to sync, right? And once you are going to be just onboard your, let me show you the controller as a vBond. They will basically check the vManage inventory, whatever the serial number and chassis number they have, which is updated on the smart, what certificate they have, and that is going to match, then they will allow to make the control connections. If not going to match, it will not allow to form the control connections. It will reject the connections. Okay, Altaf?
So actually that certificate smart account will be linked to vManage when? Before validation or after validation?
It means you always have to link this as smart account if you're doing with a smart account.
Okay,
So
so
you just
this
have
is
to
going to
sync.
happen before validation or after validation?
Means, see, once you're going to be link the smart account, all inventory information is going to be pushed here.
Okay.
If you're not going to do that, your inventory vSmart is not, means your all control information is not going to be there. So you must have to link. There is a one process you have to link this account, or might be you have to do them manually. The both with method is going to be supported. But what is going to happen, even let me show you, not have a time, but even for the you log in Altaf any time Cisco Smart account? Have
Yes,
you
yes,
logged in?
I have logged it into smart account.
Okay, so if you go here now, so let me show you. Uh,
Yeah, all the list
because
of
we also
devices
have.
will be there. We will be having licenses and all in the smart account.
Yeah,
Device
yeah.
details will be there. So
Even I will
actually,
show when we do the
yeah,
lab, no? So
yeah.
yeah, when we do the lab, no, when once you onboard the means vManage itself, it's not going to be like live unless or until you onboard the vBond, right? So once
Right.
you onboard the vBond, their certificate serial number is going to be checked by the vBond, and then they will allow to build the control connection from the vManage to the vBond. This is how it is going to
Yes, sir, we
happen.
will see the process during the deployment. So it will be more clear, I think,
Yes, yes, I will definitely show
during
you.
that point. Yeah.
The first thing might be tomorrow or day after tomorrow we'll start this. Very
Okay.
first thing, we have to deploy the vManage. This is the day
Yeah.
zero deployment. Once we do that, we will again onboard the vBond, and then it is going to validate the vBond to the vManage, and then they will form the control connection. I will show you live, and also I will show the like Cisco Smart account how it is going to happen, because we have the live Cisco account as well.
Okay, one more question, sir. When we are doing SSH from the vManage plane, so what will be the source IP of the SSH initiation? So what
That's the
will
management
the
IP. Management IP of
management
the,
IP?
yes, management IP, right?
Okay, management IP of the vManage.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So basically, what is going to happen? There is depend, right? If let's suppose if you are doing the SSH from this device, right? And if your management is not reachable to these devices, if let's suppose you're not able to ping from the management IP address to these devices, so what is going to happen? By default, it will take the exit interface of this device, means the WAN interface IP address. But if you are making the source, means reachability through the management to the devices, then it will take the management interface. So there is a catch, both is possible. By default suggestion, always to do the SSH via the management, but it is going to be take WAN interface if there is no connectivity from the management. There is no routing from management. So if you're building the SSH, that is not going to work. So that's the special thing you have to take care, Altaf. But in production, generally we
Okay,
do
sir.
the
Yeah.
all connectivity to the management. So management is going to reachable. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So last one we have the data plane. Data plane is basically your end routers, means it is going to act as a fabric discovery. Means you have to connect to all the branch data center sites via the data plane. Means they are actually going to be, this is the data plane, manage router and provide the secure data plane connectivity via the IPsec from one branch to another branch. Means these all sites are going to form the IPsec tunnel to make the secure connectivity from each other. And also they will go and establish the OMP tunnel. They will leverage the OSPF BGP, like I mentioned earlier, to connect your branch and redistribute this route to the OMP routing protocol. They support any kind of the zero touch provisioning. We'll discuss what is zero touch provisioning later on. And they build the physical base connectivity. They build the virtual router base connectivity also, like 100 MB, 1 gig, 10 gig, 40 gig, 100 G. Means whatever you want to make the connection, it is possible. And all these 100 MB, 100 MB, 1 gig, 10 G, 40 G, and 100 G circuits are going to be supported by these particular physical routers, even the virtual routers as well. And also, if you want to just export the live statistics, means how my circuits are performing, what are the logs, what are data, these all are also going to be available on your vManage dashboard, and you can always export these values just for your troubleshooting and analysis. So data plane is actually your vManage router, which is going to be connect your end device, where you have to connect your LANs, and then they're going to build the IPsec tunnel. Any questions till here about the control plane, data plane?
In data plane, do we have two routers for the redundancy purpose, or is it going to be a single connection, router
Generally,
connection?
Gautam, we required two connections. You can see here. So in this lab, we using this as a dual side connectivity, means
Okay.
dual router connectivity. Generally, in the production, always going to find dual router. If single router you're going to use, if this router is going to down, entire this site is going to be down. So we are using both of the simulation because going to add more routers, your lab is going to be more complex. So in
Okay.
this simulation, we are using the dual link every site, and also you have the dual routers connectivity on the your data centers. So generally in production, you're going to find always dual
Dual.
routers.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. So let's meet tomorrow on the same time, and we can continue from here. Okay. If no any further questions. All right, guys. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care.